Who do you pick up in Week 12? I've got your waiver wire rankings right here for Week 12. Also, I'm going to talk about Pat Mahomes and Lamar Jackson. What do you do with these guys heading into 2020? I'm talking not just dynasty, but redraft. Where would you draft them if drafting today for 2020? And on top of that, let's talk about a few buy lows and sell highs heading into Week 12. Let's get to it.
Top 5 running backs.
You're watching the Fantasy Football Show.
Now it's time to talk about a really important topic. And I love talking about it during the offseason, but it's time to talk about it now as well. What do you do in 2020 in the second round when Lamar Jackson's sitting there at the end of the second round, Pat Mahomes is sitting there at the end of the second round? I can tell you what half of you are going to do. Half of you are going to crap on this topic and go, I don't draft a QB early, Smitty. You should know better, Smitty. You should know better. I hear that year after year, but guess what? There are tons of ways to win in fantasy football. I love this argument. It makes me almost sharp my pants when people bring this argument up, when they bring it up slanted. If you're going to talk about the two sides of this coin, I respect your take. If you're going to tell me that you have to wait on a QB or you're going to lose or have some disadvantage, shart in the pants. If you tell me that you can't win by waiting on a QB, I equally shart my pants. My point is this. For anybody to suggest that there aren't two sides of this coin, laughable. You can take a Lamar Jackson in the late second round next year and dominate and win your league. You can take a Pat Mahomes in the late second next year and dominate your league. And I'm talking redraft. Dynasty even more so, to build your team and your dynasty around young QBs that can carry you week after week. But in redraft, you can still dominate your league. Now, Lamar and Mahomes, here's the argument for those saying wait, and you have an argument. That's my whole point. There are two sides to this freaking coin. It's hilarious. Lamar and Mahomes were both the kind of QB you got late if you waited. So if you're good at landing those types of QBs, do your thing, bad boy. Go draft the next Pat Mahomes and Lamar Jackson. Drop it like it's hot every year in the late rounds, and you dominate and win your league. If that's your thing, go do it. But if you're also equally as talented as that person at landing the breakout wide receivers, the guys that are going to be monster breakouts in the same range where these people are drafting their QB they're waiting on, you guys are both landing your sleepers and breakouts, and you're going to have a similar impact to your lineup. It's hilarious. It's an equal, it's each side has equal argument. So I don't want to hear that either side is at a disadvantage. Take a lap right now if you're even saying that out loud.
Take a lap. Yeah.
It all depends on what kind of drafter you are. How good are you at drafting sleeper wide receivers and running backs? How good are you at landing the next Mahomes or Lamar? Are you good at both? You can roll out both approaches depending on the flow of your draft. I do both. I go early in some leagues, and I go and I wait for the next Mahomes in other leagues because I land QBs like that all the time. But I also know that if I build around Mahomes and Lamar, let me say, oopsie on me for doubting Lamar earlier this year. You can't get me in the comments. I'm going to get myself first. I doubted Lamar. Bad Smitty. But I also found Pat Mahomes in the double-digit rounds last year and called him a top. He was my number one bold prediction for 2018. So you win some, you lose some. I take ownership of my misses. But time to adjust and adapt, and Lamar Jackson is a late second-round pick heading into 2020. Deal with it. First off, let's get into the waiver wire ads. Jonathan Williams is probably the top pickup of the week because you have Marlon Mack going down and Williams going crazy. having over 100 yards on very limited touches, so he did very well, very productive. But Jordan Wilkins has an ankle injury he's battling through and could come back in this one, and he's trending toward probably playing. And these two are going to split carries probably, but Jonathan Williams deserves a look, probably the number one pickup over the two and the number one pickup of the week. Alexander Mattison, what are you people doing leaving Alexander Mattison on waivers week after week after week when I tell you this guy wins you a league if he gets into that lineup? He's a league winner sitting on waivers every week in over 50% of leagues. He's sitting there. And I get it. Some of you have small benches and you can't scoop them up. I understand those people. But what I don't get is when I get an email, hey Smitty, would you pick up this guy, or Alexander Mattison? And the other players mentioned are garbage. Go pick up Alexander Mattison, put him on your bench. He's a secret weapon. Win a league player. Tony Pollard needs to be grabbed. Why is he available? He's in the same boat as Alexander Mattison. A lottery ticket, yes, you're not going to necessarily use them from week to week unless you're desperate at running back and you have a bye week injury type dilemma on your hands and you're like, okay, I know Pollard and Madison are both getting carries. You could plug him in, maybe get a touchdown. But why is he available? He's a lottery ticket, win a league player. And if you own Zeke Elliott and you've left Pollard on waivers, shame on you. You deserve everything coming to you this week when someone else scoops him up. Pollard, go get him. Jacob Hollister, Seattle was on a bye. People probably forgot to pick the guy up. Go grab him if he's available. Very good tight end to throw into your lineup. In a year where tight ends are just hard to predict, there aren't a lot of good ones this year. The good ones you picked up off waivers like Waller and Andrews, or you drafted them very late. It's a crazy year for tight ends, and Hollister looks pretty darn good. Slayton, Darius Slayton. I don't know why he's available in so many leagues. Go grab him. He's a wide receiver 3 lock moving forward. Ross Dwelly, who knows how long the Niners will need to lean on him. It could be another week or two. Grab him. Mecole Hardman, A.J. Brown, Chris Conley, Hunter Ruh-roh. Pick him up if available. Bo Scarborough, worth the look. The guy scored a touchdown. He's a big dude, and I think they may give him a chance. Nick Foles is available in a lot of leagues. That rounds out your waiver wire rankings for Week 12. Go get them, big dogs. Go get them. Go win your leagues off of waivers. Go win your leagues off of trades. Not everything is done through the draft. Waiver wire trading, it's all equally as important. Go get these guys. All right, on to some buy lows. Go consider buying if you need a spark. T.Y. Hilton, who's coming back potentially this next upcoming game. And T.Y. Hilton has low-end wide receiver 1 value. Alvin Kamara has been disappointing pretty badly. Didn't have quite the game people had wanted this past week in Week 11, but buy low because he definitely has top 5 running back appeal moving forward. You can buy lower than that if you had to make a move right now and give something up. I mean, people that have Kamara are losing. Maybe they're already even out of the playoffs. Maybe they won't return your trade offer because they're gone. They're on winter break, and they're not coming back until 2020. But odds are, if you own Kamara, you're losing and struggling. You might make a deal you normally wouldn't make. Go take a stab. Same thing with Deshaun Watson. Had a bad week. Hopkins, people that have Hopkins might be losing. Go after both of those guys. They're worth it given the upside and appeal. The ability for these guys to be number 1 at their position, Watson and Hopkins, from here forward, it's an awesome opportunity to buy low on these guys because they have that upside. And it can happen like that in football. This is not like baseball. You can go from 0 to 60 in a snap. In any week, you can do that. A-Rod. I know. Monty and Singletary. I know. But the upside's there if you want it. The risk is there as well. But I'm not talking to the person right now that says, "Oh, I'm coasting. I'm winning my league. I got a bye in the playoffs already. My team's dominating." I'm not telling that guy to go trade and make a risky trade. I'm talking to the person that's on the fringe of making the playoffs and needs some kind of spark, some kind of player that's going to play a tier or two above what they're supposed to be playing at right now. That's the kind of person I'm talking to right now. And these guys have that kind of ceiling value. They can climb tiers. These are tier climbers right here. Hilton, Kamara, Watson, Hopkins, Monty, Singletary, A-Rod. Go get some. Go get week 12. And I hope if you don't make your playoffs, you get digging into 2020 content on sleeperu.com. And through all the videos, I'm going to be dropping Dynasty content like you can't believe. Here, coming in the next week or two, Dynasty content is dropping. And Dynasty content not only helps people playing in actual Dynasty leagues, it helps prepare you and get your mind right for the upcoming season. Get ready for it.
Top 5 running back.
You're watching the Fantasy Football Show.